Many thanks for your time here on News Today. To our very first story now. And Inspector General of Police COP John Kudalo is promising to disband political vigilante groups in the country by the end of February. Now, speaking on the Super Morning Show earlier today, COP Kudalo said his outfit has been holding sessions with the various political parties on the issue and is hopeful of disbanding the vigilante groups by the end of next month in order for a violent free poll in November.
In the middle of last year, we had a proliferation of what I call appendages to almost all the political parties, youth wings who were turning themselves to vigilante groups. This became a worrying phenomenon to the police as a law enforcement institution mandated to protect life and property. So we sought advice from the Attorney General's Department on the locus of these appendages. And we were told that we were advised that they were legal and unlawful. So from there, we've taken steps to have them disbanded by the various political parties. Last year, we were able to meet all the leadership of such vigilante groups and told them their locus, that they were not legal, then they were unlawful assemblies or groupings. Now we are going to go to the next level by meeting the leadership of the political parties involved, and of course all political parties. Of course, someone may also be contemplating, so we are going to meet all of them on the same plane and then explain to them the illegality of these groupings. And we chart a common path to have them eradicated long before the elections. We are planning that by the end of February, all these groups should be non-existent.
Now, police in Accra have shot and killed one of the prime murder suspects in last year's chieftaincy clashes at Teshi. Another, who was with the suspect, was also shot dead. Now, the incident is said to have happened at midnight as the police team went on a swoop at Majo upon a tip-off to arrest the suspect. We'll be bringing a lot more on this particular story when my colleague Beatrice Edu joins us shortly. But time now for us to take a break here on News Today. Return shortly with a lot more. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us here on News Today. To some more stories now, and 8 more heads of some senior high schools in the country are to be suspended by the Ghana Education Service for allegedly charging unapproved fees. Now, this follows an earlier suspension of the head of the Mfanspim School for a similar action some 2 weeks ago. Speaking earlier on News Desk, Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Education Service, Reverend Jonathan Better, said his outfit is working towards ensuring that parents are not exploited.
The Ghana Education Service, together with the Ministry of Education, thought it wise that there is a need for us to make sure that we improve upon our learning and the methodologies and our way of asking and answering of questions. Now, we also realize that if we don't begin, they say charity begins at home, we want to improve upon English as a subject. Spoken English.
I will still have a problem with that because even for the basic English language, if you say that the kids are struggling with English language, they are unable to have a grasp. Literature is a lot more advanced than the normal English, should I say. Obviously, it's English, but there are a lot more things that make it a bit complicated as compared to the...
Yes, let me come in by saying that it's just a way of helping the children to understand what they'll be meeting when they get to senior high schools from the beginning.
How Well, that was the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Education Service, Reverend Jonathan Better, rather speaking on the introduction of literature. He was actually speaking on the introduction of literature in the junior high school system. We've been also speaking to a lot more people, particularly an educationist, and he's also Mr. Ani Zafa, who has also been sharing his thoughts on the new move by the Ghana Education Service.
When we look at aspects of the English language, library and literature is a key part of the whole speaking, learning, and reading process. So I think it's very good. Now, what literature does is that it helps young people to be self-expressive. And what it also does is that it gives an international exposure. Because when we talk about literature, we are not just talking about writers in a particular country, a particular group, but international. So that we have writers from South America, Australia, Canada, the United States, French-speaking countries, and that sort of thing. What literature does is that it gives us a broad exposure of what other people are thinking, especially when we begin to look at even the elements of communication. Now remember, when we live in a global atmosphere like what we have now, the idea is not to be narrow-minded, but to be skillful enough to be able to understand the perception of other countries. So what literature does, especially when we begin to pay attention to some of the classical writers in the various genres in the various countries, what it does is that it widens our scope so that we are not parochial in our thinking. So it's something that I really recommend for the Minister of Education.
Okay, so now government and Labour will later today reopen negotiations over hikes in utility and petroleum prices after nationwide demonstrations yesterday. Organised Labour wants government to scrap recent levies on petroleum products and reduce percentage increases in water and electricity prices. Now, the labour unions, led by the Trades Union Congress TUC, also want an immediate increase in wages. Solomon Kote of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union says Organised Labour is hopeful the pressure put on government following yesterday's demonstrations will lead to a more fruitful discussion. He's been speaking to Joy News editor Israel Lai.
The outcome of that meeting will tell whether or not Labour will look the options of strike, whether Labour will look at other options that are available to us.
But you had lined up some other options before the meeting.
Indeed, when government saw our roadmap, quickly they started calling on our attention, making some kind of a commitment to say, look, we are still talking, we haven't finished, why are you going there? Labour reflected and said, let's back down on this. Other than that, the demonstration have started yesterday. But willingness to get back to the table is key. At the end of the day, we don't want to put Ghana in any difficult, position. We know what has happened to us as a country. We know what has happened to Akosombo. I'm a realist, and Organised Labour is also in a position to take hardcore facts and grind them as it is. That is why we are saying increase the utility tariffs, but it shouldn't go beyond 50%. For Labour to talk like that, it should give a clear message that we understand the system and we understand the difficulties. How could Labour go and say for utility tariffs don't go beyond 50%? It tells you we are not oblivious of what is happening to the kitty of the economy. And we know the essence of energy. There's doomsaw that we experience. I know this is your business. If you had tabulated how much gasoline you were buying for your generator to provide electricity, it's colossal. By this, most employers couldn't even give biscuits to the employees during the Yuletide. And therefore, we are having a posture to say, whatever will give us light and continue to work is better than to sleep in darkness and to lose our jobs.
Now, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Kofi Wampa, has one last opportunity to escape the full wrath of Parliament. Now, the Governor has on 2 occasions failed to show up before the Public Accounts Committee, forcing the committee to give him one last opportunity to appear before it or risk facing contempt charges. Member of Parliament for Achimamponia Isaac Isiama is warning the governor will face sanctions if he does not appear before the committee today to respond to audit queries raised against the central bank.
This country, nobody can declare an invitation from a committee of Parliament. So, more so when you are entrusted with public funds, you are a public officer, you are there for the good of this country. So, you cannot under any circumstance decline an invitation from Parliament of Ghana. The moment you do that, then we are compelled to summon you and to subpoena you, which may happen very soon. On several occasions, I think it's only once that we have seen the governor here. And yearly, we deal with the Auditor General's reports, many reports. Some involve the work of Bank of Ghana and other bodies. So when it comes to your turn and you refuse an invitation from Public Accounts Committee, you are insulting the whole country. We are here for Ghana. So, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, such a sensitive position, such a key function in our monetary system, such a key player in our financial governance system, shall we have a hearing in the Bank of Ghana and the man will be absent? Never. It will never happen again. And that we are going to insist that he appears before us anytime there's a public hearing. He is answerable to the people of this country, and he must understand that If it's too hot for him over there, he can take a decision. But so far as we are concerned, making sure that we provide the right scrutiny over the executive and over all other bodies, we will insist on that.
You're watching News Today here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. We'll return with a lot more stories right after these messages. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today. We can move on and do some more stories. Let's turn our attention to politics now. And suspended second vice chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Sammy Crabbe, has sued the party for its decision to suspend him indefinitely. Mr. Crabbe, among other things, is asking an Accra High Court to quash the NPP's National Disciplinary Committee's recommendation that led to his suspension in December last year. Now, he was accused by some members of engaging in acts that undermined the NPP's authority. Joining us over the telephone lines now is Deputy General Secretary of the party, Nana Obri-Boahin, with a lot more on this. So, Nana, good afternoon and many thanks for your time. I believe this suit has come to your attention. According to Mr. Sammy Crabbe, the party seems to be perpetrating a lot of illegality. Something is seeking to rectify. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, good afternoon to you and your cherished listeners. I will approach this issue from two angles. One, as a lawyer, a private legal practitioner, and two, as the Deputy General Secretary. As a lawyer, I don't think that it will be prudent for me to comment extensively on this suit because it will be prejudicial to run any commentary on this action. As a politician, and as a Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, it's also prejudicial for us to comment on this matter. If Mr. Crabbe has decided to go to court, so be it. I think that in the fullness of time, we will also enter appearance, our lawyers will enter appearance, and the battle will be fought in the courtroom. That is all.
Worried that its decision to suspend these people from the party and move forward with a clear direction might have probably gone a bit overboard. Is the party not worried that this latest suit by Mr. Crabbe is going to affect the party's the whole idea of the suspension in the first place, to help the party get one united and focused front?
Not at all. This exercise is constitutional and legal right. We have decided to go to court. Definitely, we will all have our day in court and we will battle it out. You realize that even as our communicators and our supporters, activists, not to be bothered about this shit at all. We are not going to comment on it at all. I mean, we are not going to worry our heads about it.
Okay, so the party is not commenting on this issue?
Yes, it's a matter of courtesy that I am just responding to. This,
and many thanks for that particular one. But I'm just asking, is the party not commenting because you don't feel the relevance in commenting, or you believe that this suit is just a waste of everybody's time?
Well, as you consider it, they will not be wasting our time a wee bit to comment on it at all.
No, but I'm just asking whether the party sees this latest suit by Mr. Sammy Crabbe as a waste of everybody's time in the first place.
Well, as you will take it, you will take it. But we think that it's not a matter worth commenting on it. It's not going to detract our attention at all. I mean, all of us will have our day in court. Simplicity, that is all.
Did the party in any way err in suspending Mr. Crabbe, for instance?
I don't think there will be the need for us to comment. There will be the need for me to comment on that. The party has taken a decision. Mr. Crabbe is aggrieved and dissatisfied. He has decided to go to court. Pure and simple. We all have our day in court. That is all.
Right. Many thanks for your time on News Today this afternoon. And that was the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition New Patriotic Party, Nana Obri-Boahin, speaking to us earlier on that particular story. But let's get onto the phone lines now and try and get some thoughts from Mr. Sammy Crabbe, who joins us live now from Sweden with some thoughts on this issue. Mr. Crabbe, good afternoon. Many thanks for your time, and we really do appreciate your joining us on the show this afternoon. Now, the first thing is you are going to court seeking to right a wrong. Now, the question I would like to ask is what will really change, even if the court agrees with you and says, yes, indeed, your suspension was illegal? What really is expected to change?
Oh, well, basically, I would have exposed the hypocrisy of the cabal, the bunch of sycophants who tried to subvert our constitution. And that is very important. I would really have assured every single officer in our party that the constitution was actually framed so that they will be protected. They will not have to be looking over their shoulders. They can focus on winning elections and then deepening governance in this country. I would have assured them. And then also, as for moving forward, I mean, the system has been created. No militia, no invisible forces can ever stop us. What we want to do is to, well, first of all, get Ghanaians to understand that we have a bunch of subversionists who have no respect for the rule of law. And they're trying to destabilize our party. And that, in my view, is very significant. We'll cross the bridge when we get there.
And how do you hope to work with people you describe as sycophants, people who do not have the party's interests at heart, and people who, in a nutshell, don't seem ready enough to work with you? How do you plan on working with them?
Well, basically, we drew our mandate from 5,200 people, not some 70-odd people. Most of them don't even have their votes. They don't control the party. They're not a party. We shall work with those who are willing to work with us. And so that will build bridges. But if they're not willing to work with us, I think they must find their way. We have been elected by people, and the people are saying you must learn to work with people we decide on. If for some reason you think you have a problem with them, there's a process. You don't go and overthrow the process. You don't try to use illegal means to usurp the political powers of our delegates. That, in my view, is very important. What people don't understand is if an officer is not protected, he cannot focus on the job ahead. So in my view, these subversionists are people who want to destroy the party because they are threatening our very existence, democracy. People knowing that when they cast a vote, their vote will count. People knowing that democracy, internal democracy in the MPP is live and strong. And then when they cast their votes, it will mean a lot.
Mr. Crabbe, what some are saying is that you are deliberately trying to distract the NPP. Is that the case?
Why would I want to do that? I didn't start it. When those subversionists, those people with the Jurassic mentality went out there trying to overthrow the Constitution, I expected the public to sit down and look at our Constitution and call them to order, not to allow them to use channel, to pursue their propaganda, agenda, but to tell them that you are wrong. Because if you allow them to get away with it, they are going to plot a coup d'etat in Ghana. That coup mentality must be stopped. And it is that we are addressing. That is not in any case to stop us from preparing for the election. I believe that their action is rather going to frustrate our efforts. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that every officer is able to go about doing the kind of duties and responsibilities that the Constitution has actually spelled out for him to do so we can win elections. What they have done is something that is rather undermining us. We need to sort it out.
Okay.
And sort it out
So assuming without admitting that you are right, yes, they have erred. Some say two wrongs don't make a right. Why do you also need to go on the same tangent if really you do have the interest of the party at heart?
Mine is not a wrong. Mine is a right. Unless, of course, you think that if somebody overthrows John Mahama, those who will go out on the street or say it is illegal are the ones who are guilty. I don't think so. I think what is right is right. These are coup makers. They have engaged, in my view, what is a criminal offense, something that subverts our Constitution, and with Jurassic mentalities, they want to push us into the Stone Age. It is my own duty and responsibility as an elected officer who raised his hand to the square and swore to protect the Constitution, to stop such adventures. And I am going to do that. It is not wrong. It is the right thing. They have done wrong. Please make sure that you don't encourage people with such mentality, subversive mentality, ever in our new democracy, whether internal or external. The next thing you know, we get into government and they will try to remove the security, that the Electoral Commissioner has. They will try to take away that security of tenure and try to even remove it. They'll be going to ministries and they'll be taking away securities of tenure and they'll be getting rid of people. That mentality is evil. It must stop. It must never be allowed at all to even threaten in any way in MP.
Mr. Crabbe, finally, before you go, I'd like to ask, will this be the end of the road? Should this writ you filed in court be dismissed or be seen as one that doesn't really hold enough water and so on that basis is ruled out? Would this be the end of the road for you or what next, really?
Oh, no. I'm going to go all the way to the Supreme Court. I am not going to sit back and allow a bunch of friends and sycophants, political entrepreneurs, to take the party for a ride. This is by no means over. I am going to assist each and every one of 308 police station people who have been illegally suspended. I am going to assist every single constituency officer who has been illegally suspended. We are going to make sure that this has not done. If they thought that there will be no reaction from us, then they were joking indeed.
Okay. Many thanks for your time on News Today this afternoon. And that was Sammy Crabbe, a member of the NPP and a suspended second vice chair of the party. We'll bring you a lot more on this in subsequent bulletins. Make sure you stay with us. And there'll be a lot more analysis on this particular issue, plus lots more on The Pulse, which airs at 3 p.m. on this very same channel. Time now for us to take a break on News Today. When we come back, we'll bring you business. So time now for some business. Here is Emmanuel with the very latest. Hi, Emmanuel. So
back on the blocks.
Lots of things going on in business. Anything I should be worried about? Should I be worried about my money?
No, nothing
now.
About money for now.
Okay.
We're talking about, how government would help, reduce some of the contingency taxes that it has placed on workers.
So I'm trying to understand something, that the government introduces these taxes and then there's a lot of noise and then it's withdrawn and then it comes back and then it goes. I don't really get it.
It's just becoming like the order of the day. That's quite unfortunate. You see, I believe that before government comes out or introduces any taxes, it should sit down with the parties involved to actually look at the best way to go about it, and not to introduce a thing and then you come back, people agitate so much, people don't go to work, loss of productivity, and then all these put together becomes a great loss to the economy.
It's a problem.
Certainly, it's not too good.
Anyway, I'm sure you have a lot more details.
All right, so you're welcome to Joy Business. Government has been challenged to focus on entrepreneurial training for young people between the ages of 15 and 35. This follows latest research which reveals over 2/3 of players in Ghana's informal sector are JHS and SHS leavers in this age range. The report on the urban informal economy in Ghana was launched in Accra. The researcher, Eben Anwa-Ama, tells Joy Business the informal sector has huge prospects for the country's growth.
Most of the people in the informal sector are youth between the ages of 15 and 35. And for me, that's quite instructive. And two, most of them completed JHS and SHS, which means that really JHS and SHS is terminal for most people. And the fact that they are young people, if we focus on entrepreneurship development for youth, Ghana will go a very long way. So it's about time we started entrepreneurship training at the lower levels of education, particularly JHS and SHS.
Well, so government is still trying to convince the leadership of organized labor to call off their planned nationwide strike action About 10,000 workers yesterday demonstrated across the country to protest against recent hikes in utility tariffs and taxes on petroleum products. Organized labor has threatened to strike if their concerns are not addressed by the end of today. Some economists have also argued the current labor agitations, if not addressed quickly, could cripple the economy. Haruna Idrisu is the Employment and Labor Relations Minister.
Trust that the government team will make some overtures in respect of the PURC tariffs. We may be able as a government to accommodate a certain portion of it. PURC is currently working out its numbers with the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Power. I would appeal to Labour to continue to dialogue and negotiate with us. So ordinary Ghanaians will have to bear with us. Workers and Labour will have to bear with us in this difficult time. But we certainly will not outright reject their claim.
But looking at government's current financial challenges, how feasible could it be for demands of organized labor to be met? Well, Dr. Godfred Bokping is an economist.
Organized labor can have their way totally, but it might be difficult for government to also have its way totally. They have to find a common ground where they put the economy first, where we put Ghana first. I can understand where government is coming from because they need to. Our tax effort as a country is very low. To increase that, I think the strategy would have to be discussed with Ghanaians for everybody actually to buy into it. And so some level of trade-off would have to be accommodated.
Well, so that's it for the business updates. More business will come your way later tonight on Joy News Prime. My name is Emmanuel.atani. Keep watching.
So time now to talk sports. Yes, Benedict also, and Benedict, I hear there's a lot about tennis. I don't know.
Yes, it's table tennis. Did you ever play
table tennis? Yeah, I used to when I was, I think when I was in JSS or so. I used to.
When you were in JSS?
Yeah, when I was.
Do you know, in this part of our world, every young man knows how to play tennis.
Table tennis, yeah.
Yeah, table tennis, sorry.
I don't know, but it's just,
okay, well, you don't talk too much. This Saturday, I'll take you to the Accra Stadium because
there's something happening there.
Yeah, there's going to be a championship, a table tennis championship. Okay. So I'll take you there. So you exhibit your skills.
I'm sure we can. Yeah.
Yes, I'll take you there. Myself, I'll play. So
I was that good. I mean, I'm sure I'll beat you to it anyway.
Okay, I have to see you Saturday at the Accra Stadium. So we'll start with table tennis, and the president of the federation, Marco Afajenu, is expecting a tough battle among finalists in this year's National Top 8 event in Accra this coming Saturday. Now, 8 players from the male and female category have booked their place in the final round of the championship, which will be held at the Accra Stadium. The annual championship, which should have taken place late last year, seeks to bring the top notch of tennis players across the country to compete to determine the best in each category. Here is President of the Federation, Marco Afajenu.
So the top 8 again is selected using a points system. That's why we say, in a sense, it's the super champion competition, because different people would have won different competitions during the year. Now, for every competition you participate in, you gain points. A table, a chart is created, the points are accumulated, and based on the ranking, 8 players are selected to play either for the men or women's event. Now, the other thing about the top 8, which is unique, is that it's the only competition that has an appearance fee. Anybody who participates in the top 8 gets an appearance money. So it's a recognition that this is a tournament for champions, and it's usually a very interesting and a very well patronized event. That's why we invite the good people who love table tennis to be at the sports hall Saturday at 9:30.
So it ended 2-1, and Rwanda have booked their place in the next phase of the competition. Well, the other game that was played yesterday was Morocco, Ivory Coast, and Ivory Coast won by a goal to nil. Well, 2 matches will be played later today. We have Angola coming up against the Democratic Republic of Congo. If they win that game, they will also make it to the next phase of the competition. And later tonight, we have Cameroon taking on Ethiopia. Well, let's talk some local matters. And yesterday, the transfer window here on the local scene came to an end. Well, Sekendi Azake signed one player that we all know very well. In 2007, he joined Kumasi Asante Kotoko, played very well, and even became the top scorer in that season's Premier League. Well, he went away to play in Egypt. He came back, he registered for Brecum Chelsea, but injury situations did not allow him to, show us what we all know of him. I'm talking about Eric Bequin. He has signed for Sekondi Hazakes, and Eric Bequin is joining me on the phone lines. Bequin, good afternoon for your time, and thanks so much for joining me. First, I want to find out from you, among all the clubs here on the local scene, why did you choose Sekondi Hazakes? It looks like I don't have Eric Bequin on the line. We'll try and re-establish contact with him so we can have that interview. But in the meantime, let's do some boxing news. And Pacquiao has not fought since his last performance in the loss to Mayweather, which he blamed on a torn rotator cuff. Now, he hasn't recovered from shoulder surgery. He's set to meet Bradley again in April, and following encounters in 2012 and 2014. On Tuesday, he told reporters that he was not ready to retire after the fight. Well, Eric Bequin is back on the phone line, so we'll just speak to him briefly before we return to the Manny Pacman story. And Bequin, thanks so much for joining me here on News Today. If you can hear me, I was asking that among all the clubs here on the local scene, why did you decide to join Sekondi Hazakes?
We all know Sekondi Hazakes. Anyway, thanks for having me on your show. And then when it comes to about choosing Sekondi Hazakes, it's a traditional club that has a lot of fans in it. And it doesn't matter where you play, but how you do things, how you position yourself. To make the limelight, whichever corner that you find yourself.
For you, how big is this deal?
I think it's good. I wasn't looking too much at the monetary aspect of the deal, but rather to have a coach or a club chairman or great players. When I talk about great, more as legends, but in their own way, they are also good players with mature goalkeeper like Jojo also there. I know with hand to hand, we can all work with and then raise the flag of the Asima very high.
Now, we are all waiting for the big announcement from the Football Association as to when we are starting this season's Premier League. What's going to be your target for your club, Sekondi Hazakes, if we are starting the league, let's say tomorrow or even next week?
For this Eric Bequin coming, is not like I'm going to feel so bigger than doing that. I'm going to make upon the name I've made for myself. When Ghana football is concerned. I'm going in as a normal player who's going to find a job. And I don't expect to be treated different from the guys there. I want us all to be treated as that. Like when you use Barcelona as an example, Neymar, Messi, and Suarez, they are all being treated the same way. They are all playing and making the team pass. With my vision for the club is the team first. We all have to work hard and let the team be on top. And the individualistic will come by itself by our extra effort that will let the individualistic performance come out. But for now, we are thinking about how the team will position itself. And then also, to play well and sell the Ghana League for people outside the country and then in the country, get the taste and the feeling to have the aroma again.
Okay.
Through the stadium.
Okay. Well, Eric, thanks so much. I'm afraid we have to leave it there. That was Eric Bequin. He has now joined Sekondi Hazakes, former Kumasi Asante Kotoko player who went away to Egypt to play for Petrojet. He came back, he played for Brecum Chelsea, and now he has signed a one-year deal with Sekondi Hazakes. Well, that'll be it for sports. My name is Benedict Osu. Enjoy the rest of the news after this short commercial break. Have a great afternoon.
So let's talk entertainment now. Here's Gladys Osero, I call her the goddess of entertainment. Hi, Gladys.
Hi, Governor.
Okay, so you seem to have some information for us. Something
exactly. On high grade, yes.
Okay.
You have Sammy who is saying that Kakai is a great tune. It's
oh,
a
that's
club
Shatta Wale
banger.
song.
Yeah, Kakai. You know.
I'm still trying to understand what it means actually. Kai.
Kakai. No. You don't know what Kakai is.
Kakai is like
a scarecrow kind of thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So if I come and say, hey. You panic.
So you want to scare? So Shatta Wale is scared.
I mean, he's feeling huge, self-acclaimed dancehall artist.
Interesting.
Yeah. So basically,
wow.
Samini is saying that it is his favorite tune of Shatta Wale tracks, and the fact that he feels that is a banger, and he goes back into memory and says that when he hits the market, the music market, the dancehall market, he did lots of bangers to put him there upscale, and he maintained that. So he believes that with the way Shatta is going, that is going to put him out there. It's going to sell him, and I mean that's a banger for Shatta Wale. So wow. Kakai actually is a favorite tune, and he commends him for that. Yeah, right. That makes me think that maybe this year we might get a collaboration between Shatta Wale and Samini. You can comfortably say Shamini.
Interesting one there.
Yes, sure. And also we have this Ghanaian gospel music artist, Dinah Hamilton, who is based in UK but is down here in Ghana to actually have a concert, the experience with Dinah Hamilton, and which we've been talking to her. She's been telling us how challenging it is for her to actually stay afloat the music industry and keep at par with her Ghanaian counterparts. So this concert is going to afford her the chance to interact a lot more with her Ghanaian fans and also spend some quality time with her fellow gospel artists in Ghana. So we can actually listen to Dinah.
The distance, to be able to, and then also to be able to get a good product out there, coming all the way down to actually do the recording first, then you have to quickly rush back because there's work, there's husband, there's kids, and then come back 3 days to do a video shoot and go back. And then also things are getting easier for people downloading songs illegally, making it difficult for CDs to be sold, and then the pressure of getting a hit over and over and over again. The experience of Dinah Hamilton, it's a time of praise and worship that I put together. I've done it a couple of times in the UK, and Ghanaians have been asking, when are you bringing it to Ghana? So it's here in Ghana now, happening on the 30th of January, which is a week on Saturday, at the National Theatre, 4 o'clock. It's coming on live with stellar lineup of good singers, Joe Metal, Uncle Atul, Sammy Okoso from Nigeria, Brother Philemon from China, P&K here in Ghana, yours truly will be there. It's a time where we lift up worship to God, praise, dance, fun in the presence of God. I've seen it happen before, and the God who did it in the UK, the same God who do it here.
Come the 30th of January at the National Theatre, you meet Dinah and her friends treating you with an experience you can always remember. For New York-based Ghanaian artist Dennis Owusu-Ansah, it took teasing to trigger an inspiration that has gone on to capture the attention of not only social media, but one of the world's largest media platforms, CNN. In a full feature story, CNN described Dennis Owusu-Ansah as a Ghanaian artist whose pop art images are taking Instagram by storm.
So from Kim Kardashian in Kaba to PDD in Royal Kente, you must have seen at least one of Dennis Owusu-Ansah's illustrations of American stars in African appearances on social media. Well, reworking and reimagining some of the world's biggest artists in authentic African clothing and cultural attire, Owusu-Ansah is highlighting the beauty of Africa through his work. Dennis Owusu-Ansah is a New York-based Ghanaian artist whose pop art images are taking Instagram and social media in general by storm. It is therefore not surprising that he caught the eyes of CNN for a following feature. With bright block colors, contrasting complex patterns, the images have transformed the likes of Drake, Rihanna, and Beyonce into powerful African icons in traditional dress and with traditional names. Choosing to depict celebrities trending in the entertainment business, they have an influence on their fans. So by illustrating them in African clothing, he hopes that it will bring awareness to traditional culture and allow people to start educating themselves and those around them in African culture.
Very, very creative artists here. Display of artists today, anyway. My name is Gladys Oseyo. Thank you so much for spending time with us here on Joy News Today Entertainment segment.
And that'll be it for News Today. My name is Kwabna Chenchen. Watching this more news on myjoyonline.com. Have a good afternoon.
Your fast-paced